Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mic Conversations. I'm here with Jen Ash, an upcoming musical artist, with her debut full album titled "No Judgment." How you doing, Jen? And welcome.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So tell me about yourself and your musical influences and how everything came together for you to start singing.
Well, I was a late boomer because I used to play basketball for 14 years in France.
Oh, really?
And then I stopped everything one day and moved to LA. Um, and for 2 years, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So I didn't know I could sing until somebody heard me sing and forced me to sing. Asked me like 10 times, come on, Jen, sing. And I refused to do it. And then at some point I gave up and I started singing and everybody looked at me and like, you crazy, you need to do something about it. So this is how it started. Then LA got a little bit of me and, trying to find work, trying to like adapt to the American culture and everything. So it took me like about probably 2 years before I actually decided to pursue music.
So, um, s- so where are you from originally?
So I was born in Lebanon, but grew up in France because Lebanon is always like some kind of war there. So my mom moved
Yeah.
to France, so I grew up, yeah, in south of France.
How old were you when you moved to France?
I was 3.
Oh, so your culture is mainly, even though you're from Lebanon, you're mainly French more. You're Lebanese though, right? It would be Lebanese. Is that how it would be or no?
Yes, yeah.
And
So
but you
Lebanese,
grew.
but like
Go ahead, sorry.
yeah, but I mostly, sorry, but I mostly, yeah, grew up around the French culture. Let's just say that like that.
So are you fluent in French because you grew up there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow. That's so. Did you learn English when you got here, or was it same thing with France? France is English somewhat plus French, right? A lot of people in France
Uh,
can speak.
well, the French are not very open to learning new languages, so it's they think French is the most common language, which is not. Uh, but it was funny because I played basketball, I had like a lot of American player come to play in Europe. So um I've learned a little bit there, but honestly, it wasn't much. So when I got here in LA, it was a little difficult. But when you like in an environment when you have no choice, then you learn how to speak English very fast.
Is English easy to learn?
I think it's the easiest language to learn. I think so.
Because English in America is more direct, isn't it? Is
It,
it more direct than other languages?
there's less it, I feel like the Latin language is so complex and with like all the past, present, past thing about like the verbs and the exceptions and stuff like that. I feel like
Oh yeah, yeah,
English is
that's right.
it's yeah, English is more straightforward.
So did you start singing in France in French?
I did not. No, I was thinking a little bit in the shower like everybody else, but no, I didn't start music when I was in France.
So how old were you when you actually realized you could sing? What was it? What was the age that you realized, you know what? Or was pointed out to you that you could sing?
Um, it was 2018, so what, 6 years ago? Um, but the thing is, like, you have to realize you can sing, and actually, you have to work through like getting your instrument ready to sing because knowing that you have a nice voice and actually working on it is two different things that you have to like, take a step forward. It's not like oh, I know I can play guitar just a little bit, and then you don't practice. So it's kind of like the same the same aspect with like your vocal or abilities.
So you have to strengthen it through time and breathing, exercise, and stuff like that, and holding a note longer and longer.
Yeah, and then there's like it's like there's three different voices that you can use. There's like the breathing that I had to get used to it. So over the years the range grows and then you have more flexibility to be able to do whatever you want in a song and not being limited by like a small range and singing just okay. Like my goal was to like if I do that full time, it's gonna be, a great vocal range, not just like being okay.
So, what was the look on people's face? Because you talked about. Let's go back to your voice. What were you saying about your voice that you had to be careful instead of just being able to sing, you have to practice, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can be like a normal like recording singer and just like get to the studio and then record your vocals and everybody's just, like auto tuning and making it sounds good. But my goal it was to actually be able to get a live show together and sing for like an hour and a half. So for that, you have to like be able to hold this long time of singing and without like hurting yourself. And I'm not a big fan of like having backtrack vocals on my live shows. I like to be able to provide what people want, which is live music and not listening to the recording, you know?
This,
So that takes a lot of training.
okay, okay. Yeah, well, yeah, it probably would because you have to because some singers have to go on for hours, don't they? And then sing constantly.
Yeah. Well, depending on the show, yeah, it's like an hour and a half. Plus, you have to like, or 2 hours. Like you have to talk to people and explain which songs and get them to be in your universe for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. So it's not just the singing; it's the talking and then engaging with the audience. So you need to be prepared to do that.
Is it easier singing standing still or walking around? If you're walking around, is it harder to sing, to keep the note, or to breathe compared to just standing there?
Well, I'm sure if you dance, it's gonna be harder, but I don't do that, except like little moves, but I'm not a dancer. So, when it comes to my experience, I don't think like moving a little bit or standing still is a problem for vocal. I think like if you stand still is not gonna be great for the show, but it doesn't make a difference for me. It's more like sometimes the band is very loud, so hearing yourself is gonna be the most important thing to like hit the notes when you have to. But when you have drums and bass and guitars and everybody is like on stage, and some venues have like very small stage, sometimes it get very loud and you can't really hear yourself.
Well, what was it like the first time you ever performed live? Was that really very nerve-wracking, or was it like were you calm or just shaking? Like was it how was it for you?
So the first show I booked was at the Whiskey A Go Go, which is like a big like historical place in LA. And so I get the band together, I send my invite, everybody's coming, and then the stage is downstairs and like the green room is upstairs. So the band is downstairs getting ready, and I'm usually like cool until the like 5 minute before the show where I start like freaking out. So I was upstairs and everybody was ready. The room was full and they're like, "We're ready." And I just want to go home. I was like, "Why am I doing this?" It's so like I freaked out and I was like, "I just want to go home and watch a TV show. This is all I want to do." It's
What was that?
super
Was
scary.
that the first time, or is that every time you feel that way? Or is that just that
Um,
first time?
so that was the first, yeah, that was the first time. It gets better, but I still have this like 1 minute to 2 minutes of like stress before show. My last show, my backup vocal Jess, I was like, I'm trying to breathe, and I was like, it's not working. And she grabs me. She's like, get your shit together. And I was like, oh, this is working. I think the aggressive way of like get your stuff together. People are actually here to see you. But it's always there. No, I don't know why, but it just pop up.
Does like do you think about your voice all of a sudden going, or the microphone not working? Is that the type of stuff that makes you nervous, or is it just nerves in general, the fact that you're up in front of people and it's a show and you want it to go good, you want it to go well? Is that more of
So
what it is?
so you have the stress a little before. I always stress about like forgetting my lyrics. Uh, I was stressed that one of my band member won't show up. Uh, that's the thing that freaks me out the most. If I'm like, okay, someone is missing or I forgot my lyrics. Um, when it comes to my vocal, before I had like this, my throat gets super dry. When I stress, but now it gets better with the more show you do because you like I can trust my vocal abilities, but like I think it's like a mental thing that and confidence of what you're capable of doing. So it's all like in the mind. But I feel like we did one show where we fucked up a lot of things, and honestly, nobody cared. So I looked at the footage of the video and I was like, nobody even noticed, nobody cared. Everybody had a good time. So I feel like sometimes being too perfect is not good either, because if you want perfect, just listen to the record. Don't come live. Live is a place where like people make mistakes and then people want real people in front of you. So I think
Yeah,
it's important to keep it real, even if like you messed up.
yeah, shit happens sometimes. Basically, just you know, it happens. I mean, look at Saturday Night Live. I'm sure there's plenty of times you can see that they laugh or screw up and they have to fix it. One of the things that
Yeah.
happened when they did a live version of All in the Family, and what's his name? He Jamie Foxx screwed up. He said it's live.
Yeah.
He said it's live, people. This is live. So it happens sometimes. But as you said, you get
Yeah.
used to it more and more. Just like I'm getting used to interviewing people more and more. It's going to happen the same way with me, and same thing with singing and stuff. So now to go back, um, how how was it living in France? Is there a big difference between the United States and France? Is that big of a difference? Com- Other than language wise, but other stuff, is it still a big difference?
So France was great because I was playing basketball and having like the best time of my life. And I didn't need to like work for money. I was getting paid for playing basketball. So it was a fun time. It was a great school actually to like be able to get into sports. Makes me more grounded today, and there's qualities that I have or because of basketball. But France it's cool. It's just more chill. People don't want to work too much. They're just cruising through life and complaining all day, and then that's what the French do, and smoking a cigarette and chilling at the cafe. That's exactly how it is. It's just sometime when you have goals or like a little more than just living a comfortable life. I don't think France is the place to be, um, because people don't understand the ambition behind what you want to do.
So is France more for people that want to retire and move and retire and relax? Is that more of France? Is that more? Because what you're saying, it sounds like that's more what France is. You go there, retire, like Florida.
Well, it's for people that just don't want to work too much and have a like, a better probably quality of life. I don't know. Um I don't understand the mindset of like having the same job all your life and just chilling. It just for me, it misses a purpose, you know?
Right. You said in France you learned you realized you could sing, right? That's what you said you realized it
Yeah.
when people said it. What was the look on people's face when they realized you could sing, when they heard you? Were they surprised? Were they laughing or surprised and go, "Wait a minute. No, 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 no. Wait, wait, wait. Do that again." Was it like that, or was it like what was that look that everybody gave you when they just heard you singing? Now, was it did they find out by mistake that you could sing? Like you're just singing one day, doing something, they find out? Or were you actually trying to sing a song or along with the song, like in the car or at home or the bus or at work or anything like that? When did they hear you for the first time?
So we were on like a little road trip where we went to see my friend basketball game. So I was with two of my girlfriends and we stopped at a gas station. My friend go okay inside and my other friend is in the car with me and there's a song on the radio and I start like singing like just like a couple notes and then she turns around and she's like, "Can you sing again?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? No, no." And then she's like, "No, but like I want to hear you sing." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And the whole trip, she wouldn't let it go, right? And I refused. And then we go sit a game and then we go out after and after like the clubs are like until 5 in France. So at 5 we usually go eat something. So we go to my friend's place, we grab some food and she's like, "Jane, come on, sing." And I'm like, "You annoying me." Okay, fine, I sing. And I start singing and everybody's like just like quiet and shocked. Like the three of them were like, "What? What is this?" So it was more shocking for them that I hided this. What I wasn't aware of it until like they told me. So that was like the first step. It was a funny story, and I talked to her today, and I was like, "Remember when you forced me to sing?" I'm very like grateful for you because now I'm full on into music.
How old were you?
I would say 25.
That's when you were 25 when you found out you could sing? Or like
Yes.
they know so so no one before 25 ever said, "Hey, you could sing or you sound like you can sing." Before that, that didn't happen?
No, it did not.
Okay. It's interesting. So you never
Late
like
boomer.
yeah, that's yeah, it sounds like that. Well, did you not sing much in front of other people? You just sang to yourself pretty much a lot?
Yeah, it was like, like everybody sing in the shower. That's what I was doing. But I think I had also like, um, I was a little shy, because when I grew up, I was like, I was a little overweight. I didn't have a lot of confidence. So I went through this whole process of like, being good in my body, losing weight, and then having this strength that I learned to embrace, which I didn't have back in the day. So I think that was this part where I was too shy to even like sing or do anything about it.
Okay. Yeah, well, you look great. I mean, you lost weight. You look great. So,
Thank you.
they did, so was it hard to lose weight at first? Did you have to get into a mindset to lose the weight or you wanted to lose weight, you just like how did that go for you when you finally went, "You know what? I'm going to lose the weight. I can do it." What was that for you? If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine, but it's up to you.
Oh no, I can talk about it. I think it's important for people to hear it too. Um, so I left home. I was 18 to play basketball, and 1 year I was like, I cannot, like perform like physical stuff on the court if I'm overweight. I'm like always behind. I can keep up to the speed. So I talked to my mom and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back home for a year and take care of the overweight. So we had like a doctor following me and having like appointment every 3 weeks, and I was home with my mom only. So we took like a year to like take care of this problem. And I think it was very it wasn't it was not it was difficult in a way because when you want to go with your friends and socialize, they don't care if you on a diet, or they don't care if like you trying to lose weight. And I feel like back in the days, the girlfriends I had were very happy that I was overweight. So there was like a change in a relationship when I started losing weight. They're like, oh, she's like overshadowing, and then now she's gonna be like cuter than me. So it was like this old vibe that wasn't comfortable for me, and I didn't understand not having support from my friends. So I lost a lot of friends while I lost weight. And it was a weird and uncomfortable
That
um
isn't it
place,
nor
yeah, to be, but
and isn't it normally the other way around? Some people don't want to be friends with people because they're gaining weight, but yet for you it was different. You lost weight, and then people didn't want to. Is that what happened?
well, like having girlfriends can be a little tricky, especially when like, like you get to a point where you start dating and then they don't want you to still their date or crushes. So I think that was the phase where
Oh, okay, okay.
that happened, and the little competition between girls. That's why I spend most of my days hanging out with boys, because I'm like, they don't care. It's simpler to be around men than being around women. It's Women are very complex for me, you know.
Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, yeah, because I don't think guys are really like that. You're losing weight. Okay, cool. You're getting okay. Like
Yeah,
guys, I think are like more like okay, all right, congratulations on it.
good
Not
for
to,
you. Yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah, guys are like that to each other. You know what I mean? So they're like, okay, congratulations, that's cool, good for you. You're healthier. Same thing. If a
Yeah.
guy was saying it to a woman, like, yeah, that's good. You look great. Good for you. Well, so I guess with women, for you, it was, just. But how could getting healthier be a bad thing? That's what I don't understand in general.
How can what?
How can getting healthier, you know what I mean, a healthier weight, stuff like that, be a bad thing? Which is just odd that your friends wouldn't be like, good for you, glad, because the healthier you are, the better. The longer you live, the better. You know what I mean? The better life a person has.
I,
So,
yeah, I think it's jealousy, ego, and probably insecurity from them. And then when I started losing weight, it's like, no, you lost too much weight. I was like, no, I'm not done, not done yet. So I think they weren't really friends, I think it was more,
so you haven't
the
spoken to any of them
teenagers.
then?
No, not
Uh,
anymore.
no. So
Uh,
so it's
you
been a
know,
long time.
yeah, it's been a while. And then the thing is, like, when people are like gaining weight from me, I was like, you're gaining weight, like, be careful, it's not good for your health. So I'm always the friend I just tell you what you don't want to hear. So it was weird to like experience the other way around, when like you don't want me to be healthy, you don't want me to like be beautiful, like we're not friends. Like you just in competition with me, and that is not what I want.
How was it recording your first album? When you the first moment you were in the studio, what was it like? What was that feeling like?
So I someone recommended me um a studio. So I went there, and I'm still with the same engineer 6 years later. And I remember walking in and talking to him and saying, okay, I'm not from America. I'm from France. I mean, I grew up there. So I want to be very like straightforward with you and make sure that if you think something is not good, or if you think I'm saying something wrong, I would please don't feel bad saying this to me. So it just set the tone right away. Because growing up playing basketball, like people tell you when something is not good, so you can build and then make it better. But I felt like when I moved to the US, people were always telling you, "You're doing great, and this is great, and this is great," when it's not. I remember going to a ballet class and I couldn't lift my leg like like everybody else, and the girl was like, "You're doing great," and I was like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not, and it's fine. Don't lie to me." So it was this conversation that I had at the beginning, just to not. I don't want to waste time. This is very precious for me. So please tell me when something it's not is not working or doesn't sound good. Um, and I feel like I got to a point where I don't care whatsoever in listening to criticism. And I'm happy to say I agree with you on this and I disagree with you on this. So we created like a nice working relationship when it's like, "Oh, Jen, this doesn't sound good," or he's like, "Are you sure you want to say this?" You know. So we created this safe place for us to actually like tell each other um things honestly and not being like, "Oh, I don't want to hurt your feelings." So it wasn't scary. It was very smooth. And then with the studio, you take one that doesn't work, you can do take two. You know,
So,
it's
did
not like live where you're like, "Yeah, fucked up, you fucked up."
so when you were in the studio, did you think about any artists that you liked or wanted to replicate? Not, you have your own sound, you have your own voice, but was there someone that you wanted, that you thought about as a artist that you want to be or have their success when you were in the studio? Did you think about that at all? Like the type of music you want to put out?
And
Like, go ahead.
so not at the studio. At the studio, you just like you just want to make sure you say the note and then you sing it very clean, you know. Um, but when it comes to like finding my own sound, it took a while. It took a little bit of like self reflection. Like you have to be honest with yourself. And then one day I sat down with my friend Jess and I hadn't played during the whole COVID. And I didn't enjoy the past music I was doing. So I was doing a little more ballad and R&B and like sad song. And then I sat down with her and she's like, "What kind of show do you want to do?" And I just came back from Nation in Miami and I told her I was like, "I want to do Afrobeat, but I have this like big like powerful vocals, and then I want to do Afrobeat." So a lot of people are confused because they're like, "You should do sound like Adele." And I was like, "I don't want to be depressed all day listening to songs like this. I want to also have fun." So finding this balance between the Afrobeat sound that I grew up with, because France has like the French Caribbean sound and has reggae and has all this universe that had this like sound that I wanted to be a part of because I grew up listening to this and this is the music I'm listening today. So it was a little wake up call on like you not doing what you like in your music, so that is why you're not enjoying playing live. So this is why I started doing the album No Judgment, where I'm like, I'm gonna do whatever I want. So and I don't care if people judge me. This is me, and then you like it or you leave it. And yeah, and it took me years to get to this point.
So, do do you miss doing ballads at all, or do you prefer the music you're doing, or would you like to do a ballad at least here and there, or do you like the music more that you're doing?
So I love the I like both. So I wrote a ballad called Shining Bright that is stunning. I look at it and I was like, this is weird. I don't remember writing this, but I did. And it's beautiful and it touches people. Every time I play it, people are texting me and coming to me and saying this song is just like, it touches me. So I think there's a beauty in both. I just need to find a balance between doing ballads and doing Afrobeat, and then I can incorporate some of like the Afrobeat sound into the ballads. So it nothing is set in stone. But I think using both it's a good thing, and I don't want to be stuck in like one genre. I have my favorite, but I think if you can do different stuff, just do it. You know.
Yeah, that works. Yeah. So, the album that you have that you put out did you write the whole album, the most of it? Did you and your friends write it together? Did you and your band write it together? Who wrote most of it? Was it a collective effort?
So when I started doing music, I met um I met someone in Las Vegas, PJ, that helped me started doing music. He wrote for me, he showed me how to do it. And some of the songs are from 2018 to 2019 that I never released before, and because I didn't feel like it was the right time. So some of the songs are old songs that he wrote, and then the new songs are written by myself. So it's a mix between his sound and then my sound, and I honestly I am so grateful for him because he get me started when nobody did. And I told him the other day, I was like, you have to come see the next show because half of the set is your songs. So I think when you get into a space where like you trust the person who writes for you and you actually transparent about like what you want to what is the message of the song, it's great, but it takes you a little bit of like, this is what happened in my life. I'm ashamed of it. Please write about it. Because I write from experience. I write from I tell my stories, you know.
So, what's the most personal song for you on your album?
I think Shining Bright, I didn't like it at the beginning, but the more I sing it, the more I dive into like the emotion of the song, the the more personal it gets. I think I didn't want to feel anything. I wrote Shining Bright for myself because sometimes I'm like, it's up and down, and the music industry is not the easiest industry you can get into. So Shining Bright was just giving me strength and courage, and being alone in this journey away from home and from family, and then nobody understand what you're doing, and everybody think you crazy. So it was for me like a letter for myself to tell me like you getting closer and closer, and just never give up on your dreams. So that is the one that touches me the most, and sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna cry singing it live. So it's hard for me to like get to the space where it's just so personal that you can sing and cry at the same time. It's too complicated. So yeah.
So, was that the first song you recorded that you wrote?
No. The first song I recorded, it was that I wrote, it was after a breakup, and writing was the only way for me to like find healing. So the first like couple songs that I wrote was very like sad song about like a relationship and breakups and all this, the basics. But everything happened for a reason. If I didn't had this toxic relationship, I probably wouldn't start writing. So I take it as a blessing. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
It's actually a great song. I still
yeah,
listen to it today.
I've heard your album and stuff. It's good. You know, it's really good. And
Thank you.
I've also heard the newest track that you put out is I Surrender, right?
Yeah.
Did you write that? Was that collective? The newest track you put out, or how did you come up with that one?
So I surrender. So after No Judgment, I wanted to get to bad behavior era, right? Because like I like being bad sometimes. I think it's cool, it's entertaining, and then it makes you it's a little drama. Um
There's a lot of bad that's good in certain situations. To put it that way.
I think it's all about balance. You can be nice all day. Like, I don't trust people that are nice all the time. I was like, you hiding something. There's something off about you. So it's just like being like transparent about like who I am, like in my everyday life. And then I have like this like sassiness that I have that makes people laugh. And sometimes I'm like, it can be a little rude, you know. I grew up in France. The French are rude. So it's just embracing those part of me that I was like, no, people maybe don't want to like. I was like, people absolutely want the bad behavior. So I surrender. It's about like, making bad decision about, like getting into a situationship with one of my drummer, not having another drummer to play with, like a mess. So it's just like, and my friend told me, she's like, you should write a song about your drummer. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, I don't know. And then when people give me ideas, I just take it and I don't forget it. And I'm like, oh, that can be actually a cool song. So I wrote I Surrender about this, like, like situationship with the drummer. And then the song is actually very bouncing and grooving. And I think it's one of my favorite for now.
Are you so a
And I
lot?
feel like sometimes it's vulnerable.
So a lot of songs are that you've written are very personal for you.
Yes, they're absolutely personal. Yeah.
Which one is do you have a favorite of yours that you've written?
Yeah, Shining Bright is my favorite. Shining Bright is about I wrote the song for myself. Like the journey is long and it's hard. So Shining Bright was for me a way to give me strength and courage and said, like you got this.
Working on any other songs, or as of right now? Are you like always? Are you always
Yeah,
recording?
yeah, I always like sometimes I drive and I'm like writing. I always have my notepad next to me. So the next, I'm trying to find like deeper subject about like what bothers me and the society. So the next song it's gonna be about religion. I grew up Christian, and then like when you're born in Lebanon and everybody's killing each other because of religion, I kind of like take a step back and I'm like I don't want to be a part of it. So that will be the next song about like how judgmental religion can be about like people not wanting to like be in their religion or their beliefs. So that will be the next one. Gonna make a lot of people mad, but whatever.
Yeah. Everybody's everybody's kind of free to do believe in what they want to believe in, and it's fine. But for some reason, with some people, it seems to be an issue, and I just don't understand why. You know, it's
Yeah,
how
and then just like I feel like sometimes they force you to agree with
well,
them, and I feel like the beauty of the world is having like different opinions and different culture and different people. Like do whatever you want, but don't force me or judge me because I don't do the same thing as you do.
it should be more of a learning experience between people. They believe in
Yeah,
that, you believe in that. You could actually learn from each other about different ways of doing things or understanding things. Some people, you know, get over stuff a certain way, and you could actually help somebody else get over something that they didn't realize they can use to get over something. Or, to like for you, it's singing. If nobody ever mentioned it to you, you would have ever known that you could sing or
exactly.
interest you to try. So I know it's not the same thing
Hmm.
as religion, but you know what I mean. Like being open to
Yeah,
different things is how you learn or find things out. And talking to people from other countries or other states, even, or somebody that's a different occupation than you, you can learn a lot. Good to have conversation with different type of
absolutely.
people. So did anybody kind of drive you crazy about the path you were going with music? Like, why don't you do something else? Were you doing something else before music?
So, what my mom was never happy about what I was doing. So for example, when I started doing basketball, she's like, "It's a boys' sport. What are you doing?" Like, and I did school, but like I did school just to make her happy, and I wasn't like into it. Like, um, so every time I was like doing like the bare minimum just to pass the exam, and then I'm like, okay, I'm out. So basketball wasn't. cool for her because it was a boys' sport, and she didn't understand why I wanted to do that. And then when I moved to LA, and I was like, I'm doing music, and she doesn't hear it. She's always asked me, "What do you want to do with your life?" And I was like, "I want to do music." So I had to like have this conversation with her when it's like, "This is what I want to do with my life." And she's like, "What's the plan B?" There's no plan B. There's only a plan A. Do I ask you if you have a plan B? No. So that was the hard conversation. And then I don't think she still gets it. I don't know. It's just like when you're an artist, it can be scary for parents because it's not a stable financial um income coming in, and how do you like survive life, and it's very old school thinking. But like they don't understand like how powerful like entertainment is. Like you find a purpose in your life to actually share something with people and to experience something with people that is not material. It's just like when you play a live show, you sharing energies, you sharing like a moment with people, and it's so much valuable, more valuable than just oh, I am selling a car. Cool. No, like, it's just what is the joy of like selling a car to someone? So it's like I think it's the old school way of thinking, um, instead of like a new way of thinking. And I think LA it's a great place to be because you're surrounded by a lot of artists and actors and like people in the industry that believe in their dreams. And the good thing too with music, especially now, is like most of the time they don't understand the lyrics of my songs, so it's great. They're like, "What does song mean?" I was like, "Just Google Translate. Come on." So most of the time when I'm talking shit in my songs, I was like, "Ooh, thank God they don't know it." But yeah, they always thought that I was a little crazy, and the worst is when I shaved my side here. She's like, "What happened? What did
Oh,
you do this for?"
was that is that on your
And
album
coming from a
cover?
yeah, and coming from like a Middle Eastern background where like the girls are like long hair, like makeup, and they're gorgeous and wearing dresses, and I'm just showing up shaving one side of my head. Like it was a shock for her, and she's like, "I don't know what to do with this daughter of mine."
Have they
But it's a
gotten
part
used
of
to
like,
it? Has she gotten used to
yeah.
it?
Yeah. Well, you know what? She realized that a lot of people liked it, and she's like, "Oh, okay, that's cool."
Well, now that what other people like it, your success, so you're gaining traction. It's like, oh, okay,
Exactly.
yeah, that's fine now. As long as you're gaining traction, so, oh,
Yeah.
that's great, that's great. But when you were
Yeah.
first starting, she wasn't so into it
No.
basically when you first started. Now,
No. But like the good thing about being in LA, when I moved to LA, I wanted to move to New York, and I was like, this is too close from home. They're gonna be here all the time. So I moved to LA a little further away. And the thing is like there's no like family expectation, control of like family pressure of the family. You're just like on your own and doing what you want and saying what you want. And then if you don't want to say something, you want to lie about something, which is not good. But like sometimes you have to like, you know, protect yourself because I feel like family, sometimes they want the best for you, but it's too much and it's overwhelming, and they're worried so much. And you're like, I don't need this pressure in my life. So by going like overseas and having like this like peace of mind, thinking that nobody's gonna like show up and said you can't do this, you can't do that. It's kind of like a bit of a freedom that I took for myself when I left everybody.
and it's paying off, right? It seems to be paying off.
Yeah, it's like peace of mind is the most like beautiful thing that someone can have. And it's not easy to get because you have to set boundaries with people. You have to like say no. But I think it's important, and sometimes they think like you're the bad guy because like you actually, stand up for yourself. and they don't get it until they actually respect that, and it turns into like, oh, nobody's gonna bother Jen anymore because she's not taking any bullshit. But it takes time to teach people and educate people on who you are and who you're becoming, because especially the family, they see you as a kid and they're just like the one telling you what to do, and then you get into your own power and you're like, no, I'm going to tell you how you have to deal with me, because this is me as an adult, and this is me like setting boundaries. um so it's a shift in your life that you have to make with your families and even friends.
So, how what's the biggest thing for you that music has done for you, in your opinion? Like the biggest thing. You said some stuff it seems, but what for you has been the biggest thing that you feel it's accomplished for you, or helped you with, or done stuff like that?
I think I found myself. I found what I'm here for. And, sometimes I talk to people and I was like, what do you like? They don't know. And I feel so blessed to have found my purpose in life. And I'm so grateful for it, even if it's not easy every day. But like some people, they don't know what they want to do with their lives. And it's so sad. And I found it through music, and it's just beautiful. It's just magical. Every time I go on stage, I remember why I do music, and it's beautiful. It's magical every time. Every time.
That's good. So, so, I just had the thought in my head too. You said something. What was that moment besides people telling you could sing or doing that where you said, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna try it, go for it. And what was that moment like? Were you sitting in the car? Were you talking to someone? Were you like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try it, and and that's it. What happens, happens.
So, I when I moved to LA, I got to this job. So it was a restaurant job, open late night. We were making a lot of money. And I feel like when you make a lot of money, you forget like what you want to do with your life, because the money is so good. So for a year and a half, I worked there, and then money's coming in, and I can go out, I can just buy clothes and do like chill. And then suddenly, the owner fired all the French people in the restaurant, which was half of the staff. He's like, I am done with all the French people here. So I got fired, and then I had a wake up call. I was like, okay, I've been here a year and a half, and I haven't done what I don't know what I want to do. So I sat down and I was like, okay, what did I come to LA for? What's the goal? So I sat down and I wrote down what I like and what I want to do, and then I was like, okay, I want to do music. And then it's funny because when you tell yourself exactly like specifically what you want to do, people are showing up in your life to help you get to the point where like you get started. Like PJ show up in my life out of nowhere. So yeah. So I think that was my wake up call.
Is there anything that you want people to know that's upcoming for you that you're gonna be doing, or anything like that?
Well, I have a show in LA October 18. So if people want to come see me.
Yeah, well,
Okay. So October 18 is gonna be at the Mint in LA, and it's gonna start at 8:30.
are you doing a
And
full
we're gonna
set?
jam for an hour.
Okay. 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 So, okay, I got a question about that. What do you
Mhm.
change the do you shuffle around the track selection, or do you have a specific track you do first?
Okay, so it's funny because one of my musician, he's like, "You doing an hour just original music?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You crazy." And I was like, "No, I am absolutely insane. I agree with you. I refuse to do covers. I don't want to do covers. I just want to sing my own song and just, like I want people to be in my universe." So, sometime I change. all the time, and I feel like it's a learning experience every time you play. And depending on the venue and like what they're looking for and then the time. So I usually do my set list. I do it like a script where I'm like, okay, this is the story through the whole set. So we're not jumping from like one things to another, and it's just very smooth of like how I tell things and I tell the stories, and I think it makes it better for me to keep track of what is the next song, because sometimes you can forget the order. But like by having this like kind of like a script and making it rolling like a musical, like like a movie, it makes it easier for me and for people to actually get into what's happening in my life. But sometimes I go back to old song, sometimes it's new song, sometimes I don't feel like singing one song. It's just like I work with like the feeling I have. Sometimes I get with the band for rehearsal and one song doesn't feel right, so I was like, oh, we're gonna change this. So but you never know until you get with the band and see how things are actually sounding when you get into a space with a lot of people, because I feel like the musician are also bringing their energy to the song, which is one of my favorite thing. I was like, Let's see how they you know see the song. They see it differently than me, so it's cool to have them have giving their little spices to it. So yeah, it's just different every time. And you can sing the same song every time, and every time is different. So
Well, different
you have
reaction,
to be
different people,
comfortable.
different crowd.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had a song in LA when I had the audience singing, and in LA it was so cool. And I get to New York, I do a show in New York, and it's so different. And I couldn't get anybody to sing. I was like, "You guys, no, this is crazy." And I got there, and everybody's wearing black, and I'm the only one wearing colors. So I was like, "Okay, great." Everybody knows I live in LA. But like, it was this like the showcase had it felt like a competition when I'm like, we're not in competition. There is room for everybody. Let's just support each other. And I think you get to like people that have I don't have an ego. Like I'm happy when people win, and you have to be such like a level of confidence and get rid of your insecurity to get to a space where like you want everybody to win. And then when you get to a place where everybody you feel the competition, I was like, we're not in competition. We sing different songs, we sing different music, we have different style, we have different personalities. So why don't we just support each other instead of like, you know, it was different.
So, so if there was a person that if a singer artist that came up to you and said, you were doing a set and said, I would like to sing with you, who where you would just stop and go, yeah, like you stop your set and be like, you know what, yeah, what singer would that be, what artist? Where you'd be like, okay, fine, stop,
Oh,
you come out of it, who would that be?
oh, there are a lot of them. I think my favorite woman, like she was like one of like she was an icon. Like she's like it was Celine Dion because I grew up with her. She's just a beast, right? So
Yeah,
probably her. Like, and she's singing French, English. She like belts. She just like rock and roll, and then without even like the thing that I don't like when you're a woman musician, like especially the new era when like you have like naked. We don't want that. This woman built a career without needing to. She didn't need to do that. So for me, it's like that's cool.
what
Respect.
what song would
That's
it
high
be?
level of respect.
What song would it be?
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, she had so many great songs. Ooh, what is my favorite from Celine Dion? That's a great question. Um, that's a hard one. I like Tell Him that she does with Barbara Streisand. It's one of my favorite songs. And then the Titanic song is just insane. I love it.
Is she the
So
one
those
that
are two.
sang a song that went baby, like it stops and says baby over and again? Didn't she sing a song like that? Is that her?
I don't know.
It went it stops. She sings and it goes baby, like loud, like her voice. Is that her? I can't remember. Hold on.
I
You
don't
know
know.
what? I want to look that up right now. Hold on. Celine Dion. Oh, if you touch me. Is that it? Hold on. Of course, the internet is. Okay, let's see. It's all coming back to me now. Hey, that's the name of the
Oh
song.
yeah, I love this song.
Yeah. So your song you're saying would have been the Titanic song, and what was the other one? Tell me or
Got him with Barbara
tell.
Streisand.
So
So good.
okay. So if she walked in and
But
said,
it's all
"Hey, I want,"
coming back to me. It's a classic, you know.
so she walks in and says, "Hey, I want to sing with you." It's everybody has to be quiet, and you two are just gonna start singing.
Yeah.
All right,
Exactly.
all right.
There's
Um,
people you can't say no to them.
so okay.
That's good.
Tell let's see. So before you go, what do you have coming up? We talked about shows that are coming up, but what else do you have? Any
Yeah.
music down the line? Are you coming out with something next year? Are you working on more stuff? If you're coming out with another album, how many tracks would there probably be? What type of
Mhm.
music you're working on for the future? Anything specific?
So so I'm planning a music video for I Surrender that is gonna be shooting October 29th. So that's gonna be a fun one to look forward to it. Also I am planning EP just for Shining Bright. So it's gonna be different version. It's gonna be the recording version, a piano version, and a French version of the song, just packed on one EP for the New Year, just to give people some like inspiration, you know. And for 2025, probably Bad Era album, Bad Behavior Era album that I'm looking forward to it too. It's gonna be a fun one to write about all the bad behaviors. It's good.
So the album is going to be a learning experience, filled with learning experiences of
Yeah.
bad.
It's more revealing my dark side to people.
Okay.
Yeah, you know,
Dark side in every way.
yeah,
Eh,
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see.
okay. All right. So tell everybody how they can, where they can find you online and how to get a hold of you if they want to book you. So let everybody know how
Okay.
they can reach you.
So you can find me on social media. All my social media are Jen Ash Music. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, just type Jen Ash. And then my website is jenashmusic.com. Trying to make it easier for everybody.
Well, Jen, you've been great. I appreciate you coming on. It's been fun. And good luck with everything. Your album's good and I like it. And, good luck with the
Yay!
future and the music video and stuff like that. So, and again, thank you. I do appreciate coming on. Thank you very, very much.
Of course, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
All right, no problem. Thanks.